And you know what I'm going to let Elon do? Unless you people disagree, I'm going to get Elon, and he's great at this. He's going to be our cost cutter. I think he can save trillions, right? He wants to do it so badly. I don't think I can get him full-time because he's a little bit busy sending rockets up and all the things he does. But he's so much into that. He said the waste in this country is crazy, and we're going to get Elon Musk to be our cost cutter. He's going to do it for zero. He doesn't want anything. But he wants to see this country be great, and he'll do it. And I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. I'm right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to have any. I'll tell you what, the auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is, you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
So let's talk about UAW's leadership.
The European Union's ahead of us. They began to regulate very effectively in January of 2023. So we're behind the 8 ball here, and the United States should never let other countries get ahead of us with regard to financial services. Absolutely, and the Congress needs to regulate this and weigh in. You know, some of the problem has been that the SEC has said, well, we have all the tools we need to regulate it, but the way they've applied them has brought about court cases. Instead of regulating by making clear rules of the road for the industry, they're regulating by enforcement action. And so when they bring enforcement actions with penalties against the industry, and it doesn't have a clear understanding of what it's done wrong.
The default position is that there are bad actors.
With coins, with minerals, it's not the asset itself that is fraudulent.
Do you think he's conflated the two? Don't you think he has?
In some instances, yes, I do. Yeah.
He wants to stay on no matter what happens in the presidential election. I'm talking about Chair Gensler. You see that? What do you make of that? He loves the job.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. Especially, of course, if Donald Trump is.
But you don't think it would happen under Kamala Harris?
I don't know. Gary Gensler's view of trying to keep control of so much about digital assets, characterizing them as securities and all the companies that deal with them as securities, doesn't recognize adequately that Bitcoin's a commodity, Ethereum's a commodity, and perhaps other digital assets are. We need to have a clear definition. The Howey test is available to us, and as it has been updated, there may be other assets just besides Bitcoin and Ethereum that would qualify for the jurisdiction of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Even just the past year, Sarah, leaps in generative AI are offering teachers new tools and powering the fast growth of AI education startups. With teacher shortages putting more demands on educators than ever, this year teachers are using new AI tools to help them do more with less. A leading AI startup, Magic School, is used by 3 million educators across the country. While most of those teachers are using it for free, 5,500 schools pay for a premium version for about $5 per student per year. One of those subscribers, Green Dot, took us inside one of its 18 Los Angeles charter schools to show us how AI is helping teachers teach. James Fiddler is a Green Dot assistant principal. After a trial period last year, his school just started paying for a full rollout of the software this semester. He showed us how his teachers use the platform's 70-plus tools, for everything from grading and crafting lesson plans to building presentations with generative AI. All of these queries are being answered so quickly. How much time does this save for your teachers?
Teachers are asked to do a lot to prepare, and so this gives teachers an opportunity to spend less time doing more.
Magic School started rolling out 40 plus tools for students, including chatbots that teachers can customize based on each student.
The teacher will decide the tools they want to launch to their student. They will customize them, make sure they work the way they want, they're appropriate for the grade level. Then they'll test them in their own playground to make sure that they're appropriate for their students. And then they'll launch them to students.
Magic School is one of the 67 AI education companies that have raised $518 million so far this year, according to PitchBook, with $3.3 billion invested into AI education startups since 2020. One of them, GoodNotes, is an AI-powered digital note-taking platform. It helps students with things like spell check and math equations. But with new technology comes new concerns around a lack of human interaction in classrooms or the potential for AI to be used for cheating. Have you gotten pushback from parents or from students who are like, hey, why are you using AI instead of just teaching me yourself?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say from parents or students. I think our district is doing a great job of setting expectations about what AI use looks like. AI is here and it's here to stay. And so how do we adapt and adjust to that?
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, also make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. We'll have videos on TikTok today. And we have Trump says he's going to get Elon to start cutting the costs if he's president. Cutting the costs for the government. So guys, you know layoffs are definitely coming. We already see them coming already. But this deficit has to be cut because we're going on a level playing field. And we can clearly see how they're going to destroy the United States world reserve currency. So China, the dragon rises. And we have Loomis talking about the U.S. being behind on crypto regulation. But remember, guys, this was done on purpose. Gary Gensler and Janet Yellen were the NWO chess pieces. I told you a long time ago. I keep telling you over and over and over again what's going to happen before it happens because the NWO does not go away from their plan. And Gary Gensler's job was to kick the regulation can down the road. We know at MIT he knew all about Bitcoin and crypto, how important this technology was, how the banks were monopolies and they wouldn't allow them to gain control, but they will use their technology. He told us everything. But when he became the head of the SEC, he acted like he didn't know anything. Crypto is for the fraudsters. And guys, most likely, if he's not going to be the head of the SEC, he'll be back at MIT teaching about Bitcoin and crypto. Yes, guys, remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And speaking of an illusion, we have AI teaching your kids. And remember, guys, educate your own kids. It's okay for them to go to school when they come home. Make sure they understand the truth and explain it to them in detail. It doesn't matter how old they are. Eventually, they're going to wake up and see everything that you was telling them, and they're going to thank you. But never let the adversary teach your kids. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And this CNBC report says China tells companies not to use Nvidia chips. And guys, we know this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic because we were giving all of our technology to China. So they're definitely going to use whatever the best technology is, they're going to use it. Remember, we're helping China become that world power. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Nvidia CEO on energy use. And you hear no backlash on all this energy use for these data centers. But when it came to Bitcoin, Bitcoin needs to be shut down. Guys, don't forget all the media hype on how Bitcoin needed to be destroyed because it was using up so much energy. You can't make this stuff up. And we have AI doing the hiring. And if you're old like me, you know when it comes to HR, they've been trying to automate it out forever. But now it's finally here. And we know people lie on resumes all the time, lie about their history all the time. No more of that. Because this AI is just going to be pulling facts. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Because he knows. The robots, algorithms, and drones are about to take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep are about to go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Brian, Beijing is urging its domestic tech companies to stop using Nvidia chips. That's according to Bloomberg, citing sources. China remains an important market for the U.S. chip makers. And for China, Nvidia is an increasingly important supplier, despite U.S. export controls that prevent the company from shipping its most powerful AI chips into the country. The Chinese are going as far as smuggling Nvidia's chips into China and accessing its GPUs through U.S. cloud providers like Amazon. And while Chinese tech giant Huawei is trying to build up its own AI chip, Brian, we spoke to a number of experts. They don't say it stands up against what Nvidia has on the market. And Nvidia is also said to be working on a China-specific chip that appeases current U.S. export controls.
These data centers could consume today maybe 100 megawatts. And in the future, it'll probably be several, 10 times 20 times more than that. It doesn't have to necessarily be built in one place, but the amount of data that we're going to train it with, and these AI models are going to use synthetic data.
So that we the world is going to be short power. And to power these data companies, you cannot have just this intermittent power like wind and solar. You need dispatchable power, because they can't turn off and on these data centers. And so it's a combination.
Meantime, we told you about this right before the break. AI hiring platform Procore is backed by investors including Jack Dorsey, Peter Thiel, Larry Summers, as well as VC firm General Catalyst and Benchmark, trying to fix some of the flaws in the hiring process, including reducing human bias. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is the company's co-founder and CEO, Brendan Foody, an investor, and I should say legendary investor. Can I do that? Benchmark general partner, Bill Gurley. It's great to see both of you. Good morning to you. Brendan, explain this, because, right before the break, as I teased this, I said, is it possible that AI can hire people better than a human can?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on. And I think it certainly is. We started Mercor with the premise that there's this legacy services industry where people will manually review resumes, manually conduct interviews, and manually match people with roles. But all of these processes can be automated not only far more skilledly, but also far more effectively with LLMs, where people can upload their resume, it'll read through all of their work experiences, their projects, even the papers that they've written, and then ask dynamic follow-up questions with a model that can predict what jobs that they'll perform well at and match them with opportunities.
So this is really more of a matching platform rather than, can an employer use this directly, though?
Exactly. Yeah. So we also facilitate all of the hiring, compliance, payroll associated with this. So people come to us, they say that they want to hire a software engineer or a lawyer for a particular job that they need to do. And then they can press a button and hire that person immediately with confidence and how they'll perform on the job.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. with triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York. From COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.